Good evening, Burlington and beyond. Welcome to this, our 103rd edition of this show. I just want to spend a moment or two, first of all, thanking those of you who have tuned in when we have a show, and to reassure you that we have a good many shows coming up for the rest of this year. We're planning them now. We have some very key people that will be joining us, both politically as well as business people, such as we have tonight. I'll tell you about her in a moment. So please, on your calendar, if you can, every other Tuesday night. We're going to stick to that schedule. There may be variations, I will try to tell you. As of the moment, I am hoping that we will have Jim Lyons in 2 weeks. He is one of the principals in the Republican Party locally, and he's going to tell us about her efforts and what they are doing, and will be going to the other side of the aisle in the near future, as well as a lot of personalities from town government in particular. There's a lot going on in town, and one of the biggest projects in town is the Burlington Mall. I'm sure that all of you have driven. You can't help but drive by and see the construction that is going on and has been going on. I think you're pretty much all aware of the fact that Sears has moved out, but they have replaced with a whole bunch of people, a whole bunch of stores, I should say. I have one of the most important people involved in that whole process visiting with us tonight, and she's going to take us right inside the mall and all of the new construction and tell us about what's going on and what we can look for in the near future. Her name is Sheila Hennessy. She is the director of marketing, literally, for the Simon people, the name of the people that own and run the mall. She has a lot of experience from what I understand, but I'm not going to say any more. I'm going to ask Sheila, I hope you don't mind me calling you
No,
Sheila,
please.
to tell you about what is going on and what you can look forward to. There's a lot of good stuff, especially in the spring, from what I understand. A lot of good things. Sheila, thank you so much for coming.
Sure.
I really appreciate it, and especially, I know it was last minute almost. So. Are you happy at the mall?
I am extremely happy. And first of all, thank you for inviting me as a representative of Burlington Mall to Burlington and beyond. We are so excited to bring a lot of changes to the mall that we feel just will enhance everybody's shopping experience and really just be such a wonderful addition to the Burlington community. So thank you for having me. Obviously, this time of year is just so exciting that I have a lot to talk about. So
Have you been with Simon for a while?
Sure. I've been with Simon actually 25 years.
Oh, wow.
I celebrated that milestone in July. So throughout the years, I was at Burlington Mall in the early 90s for 10 years. Then I had my children. I have 2 children and a husband. And at that time, it was getting a little dicey to be a working mom having quite a commute that I had. So the great thing about Simon is I was able to transfer to some of our properties in the Metro West. And that way I could get my children off in the morning to school and really not miss a lot in their life, which was important to us. Yeah. So here I am back. My kids are now kind of much more independent and in college. So I consider myself a boomerang. So I was at Burlington for 10 years. I left and now I'm back. This is my second holiday season at Burlington Mall. And I have to tell you, it's always nice because I feel like I came back home. A lot of the managers in the mall were the same, so I remembered them from 10 years ago.
Okay. Oh,
Some
yeah.
of the police officers and the firefighters and the community members that
Yeah.
I knew, John Clancy,
yeah.
building inspector,
Yeah.
etc., I got to say hello to 10 years later. So it really felt like I kind of came back
Coming
home.
home. Yeah.
And that was really kind of neat for me. I hadn't expected that when I transferred back. Burlington changed a lot in those 10 years I
Oh,
was
yeah.
away as I drove Middlesex Turnpike and looked at all of the different changes, all good. It really wasn't the same old, same old. It was new, it was different, and now obviously being part of the Burlington Mall and the whole redevelopment and all those changes
Sure.
are going to keep me busy for quite a few years.
That's good. That's all
Yeah.
good stuff. Before we get into the new businesses that are there, I think most of the people of Burlington, of our audience, I think most of them are aware of the fact that Sears is no longer there. But as I said earlier, that every time I drove by, there was new construction. You know, they had the curtains up so that you couldn't see what was going on, and you know, everybody wants to peek in. Are you happy there? I'm sure you're happy. Do you feel like this whole venture is going to, because it isn't it? It's a big venture. It's a big. You're very confident, and I'm sure that the Simon people are very confident of what they are doing. I remember reading a little bit about, you know, there have been some difficulty at malls, other malls that are a little bit remote. Why is Burlington so important?
So Burlington is an iconic shopping center, both to the Burlington community and beyond. It has a reputation of really having wonderful services, retailers, and restaurants that you can find at Burlington Mall. And we also have some tried and true activities, such as Santa. Our Santa photo is the third largest in the country.
That's a big setup.
It's
really?
huge,
Third
yeah.
largest
Yeah, so what
Wow.
that tells us is people come from all over, miles and miles, to visit Burlington Mall because we have that reputation of being such a premier shopping center. And Simon is a leader in the industry, and that's why with this whole redevelopment and what we're doing, it's really staying current with the changes and how shopping centers are really evolving and changing over the years.
They are changing, aren't they? I think they're becoming, I don't know that much about it, but it seems to me that they're becoming a little bit more user-friendly, so to speak. You know, I know there was some discussion, or I read somewhere that some of the things that we were talking about a moment ago, outdoor planning, springtime, summertime activities that are going to be part and parcel of the whole venture. So when you go there one day in the spring or in the summer, you're occupied for the day.
Exactly.
It isn't a matter of just going in, making a purchase, and going out. You want someone to stay there and enjoy the day, whether they for lunch or whatnot.
Yeah, and I think that's definitely what we're seeing in Simon. And I can say a prime example of that is if you look on the Mall Road, we redeveloped the whole area. You see Cafe Nero is opened. It opened in September, and it has some wonderful patio seating, as well as inside you can see a lot of people with their laptops and just that conversation of having a coffee shop. So that parcel is called the Village at Burlington Mall. As I mentioned, Cafe Nero is opened, and You Break I Fix is going to be opening any day now. We'll have an additional 12 more services that will be home to that area. One that we're really excited about opening is called Stretch Lab, and it is what it is. You book a bench and you have a reflexologist who will help stretch you out. So it's a real good, healthy way to kind of increase your flexibility. And we also have modern acupuncture, which kind of alternative different types of ways that people can, again, look at their health maybe in a different way if sometimes traditional ways aren't working. We also have a restaurant called Yukaku, which is a Japanese barbecue. So you with friends will come down, and over a charcoal fire, you'll cook your food and you'll be able to have conversation and really that interaction. And those, we have several other in total. There'll be 14 more services, and 3 restaurants will be home to there. But that outside seating is going to be really key. And we talked a little earlier about kind of the connectivity and the pedestrian friendliness. So what's going to happen is that parcel is going to have a wonderful walkway to the new redeveloped area that we're working on right now. So that's in the lower level Primark wing. It's going to have a variety of services and restaurants. It's going to have patio seating. It's going to have AstroTurf. It's going to be a huge community gathering spot. We'll probably have Lululemon and Athleta out in the morning doing yoga, and we'll have Apple or Microsoft coming out and doing some of their workshops outside as well. So what you'll do is you'll be able to experience a lot of things when you're at Burlington Mall. We mentioned the timing, which is spring, summer of 2020. You'll start to see a lot of those restaurants and outward-facing retailers start opening up. So you'll be able to enter this new area from the mall. We have 3 new mall entrances as well as from the outside. We have a strong connectivity that's going to go from the mall over to the district. Again, we already see that the office workers love coming over to the mall for lunch, or they come over after work to grab dinner or perhaps do some more shopping. So again, that connectivity is very important to us. Our research is showing people like to be outside in all types of weather, so we're going to be able to do that.
Really a concept that has really grown. I want to say matured, but I mean, I don't think there has ever been that kind of involvement with the general public. And yeah, I mean, you have so many businesses right in that immediate area. That whole stretch is. I'm a member of town meeting here in Burlington, and I think it was mentioned on several occasions that during the day there's somewhere in the area of 110, 120,000 people that travel that road, that have access to the turnpike there. So you've got a lot of people that are, that are right on that main road that I'm sure that will come in and take advantage of situations like that. That's different. Have you heard of any other mall who is doing anything like that?
I haven't really. I think
That's extensive.
Yeah, it's great, I have to say, and it's very exciting for me as a marketer because retail is ever changing. New products, new services, new brands come into the marketplace, and usually they find their home in Burlington Mall, as far as we call it first to market. One great example of that is Hope and Henry. They recently opened. It's a children's clothing store. They carry organic clothing. All the cottons are organic, and it's doing quite well in the mall. And again, it's the first to market. Last year, Burlington was the first to market with Altered State. It's a women's clothing store that's from the Tennessee area. So because of what we talked about earlier, Burlington Mall, the reputation, the premier shopping experience that we provide, the new brands are interested in being part of the mall. Yeah, it's really exciting. I have to, for me as a marketer, I mentioned retail's exciting, it's dynamic, it's ever changing, but really what's going on in Burlington gives me a huge opportunity as a marketer to say, how am I going to cross-pollinate, so to speak, the village with the mall, and how are we going to get the people who are outside, perhaps dining in one of our new restaurants, to then come into the mall to know we have, Untuckit in the building. So it's going to be a lot of fun for me over the next 3 years to pull all that together.
Yeah. So your job is to, do you have companies that call you and ask about what is going on in the mall, or perhaps are interested in the mall, or is your job primarily to sell what you do have?
So my position is certainly, once the retailer opens in the mall to make sure their location and the products and services they sell, people are aware of it. But we are being watched by the trade industry, and when we do announce things like the redevelopment of the lower level Primark wing, it gets a lot of attention in the media because it is new. It's at the forefront of what Simon is doing.
Yeah.
So it does get attention not only in the greater Boston community, but we recently had something in Forbes.com. So it's about Burlington Mall and all of the changes that are happening over the next 18 months.
And you see some of this coming to fruition as early as springtime, this coming spring? You know, I mean, especially the outdoor activities or the things that depend upon outdoor activity.
Probably spring, summer. I mean, what we're looking at doing in spring is what we call turning over the space to the retailer, and then depending upon what the store is, it can take anywhere from 6 weeks to say 3 months to build out the space to have it be what they want the shopper to experience when they're in there. So that's what we're kind of looking at spring, and then summer they will open, and then fall we'll probably have the majority of them open.
So by the fall, you're going to be full force, ready to
Oh my gosh.
go.
Yeah.
I think you probably are aware of one of the major builders. I think it's over in the district, has requested, and I know this through town meeting, it was mentioned, they're looking for a permit to put together another they have 300 units now, and a lot of those people, my understanding is a lot of those people work. They live in the district, and they 30%, 40% of them work right here. So they shop right here, and they will look for pleasure right here, amusement or whatever, or certainly the shopping. So now this same company is asking for permission to build 300 more. So you're talking about a big complex of people that are right at your doorstep. That I mean, I can't imagine that they would not cross the street and come over and spend a day, 2 days, and probably most days through the year.
And that's,
go ahead.
And that's certainly what we're finding is, and I mentioned the pedestrian connectivity between the district, between Mall Road and our sister properties across the way, and we're finding that people like to get outside and walk from A to B, that it isn't always being in their car. One other thing that's part of the whole redevelopment is we are building and finishing, I guess I should say, the sidewalk that will connect the end of Mall Road to Middlesex Turnpike.
Okay.
I know when it's pretty exciting. So you can walk from the Marriott all the way down to the crosswalk and then go across the street, which is really great for obviously those residential properties.
To be able to cross the turnpike
Exactly,
itself.
yep.
Okay.
And there's a crosswalk already there, but the sidewalk will continue.
Okay.
So that's something really exciting that, again, as the partnership with the town of Burlington.
You know, it's like that whole, you know, everything around the mall is going to be, it's like a village all by itself.
Yeah.
You know?
Hence why we got the village
mall
at Burlington Mall to kind of start that, that we're just so much more than a shopping mall. We're a village, and we're going to have a park, and we're going to have, again, the connectivity and the friendliness of pedestrians going from one place to the other. You already see it a little, too, when you look at how people get to Crate and Barrel that's also at the mall, that they'll walk and then go over to Crate and Barrel and then go back to their car, and maybe they grabbed a bite at Cheesecake Factory.
Just a crazy thought. Has the issue of marriage ceremonies come up?
No, that's, and
because, and the reason I mention it is because you're probably aware of this development on 3A that is getting ready to open, and I had the gentleman in, he's one of the guests, and he mentioned that they wanted to have an area grassed, nicely done, covering where they could take pictures, and they fully anticipate people coming in who are being married on the weekends, whenever they're to come in and take pictures, and also to perhaps visit the restaurant. You probably keep it in mind. There might be something that because you've got access to so many people. I mean, the number of people that go through there in one day is just phenomenal. So if they're aware of it, and marriage is still a big institution, and I think most brides in particular love being out there. Anyway, just an
I
idea.
have to tell you, people have come to the mall and met their significant other. One story I heard recently that's actually adorable. We do Safety Town, as you know, and next year will be our 50th year, where the Burlington Police Department come down and teach children proper bike, pedestrian, and bus safety now. So one story I heard was there was a police, one of the Mrs. Fields, Cookies, made a call, and the police officer kind of came over and was talking to her about her concern, and then all of a sudden a little sparkle went on his eye, and he realized, ooh, this is cute. She's nice, and they ended up following up and meeting with each other, and now they're married 25 years later. We do have we have a good number of people also that proposals happening at the Santa set are something I have seen. I wouldn't rule out marriage in a mall. I mean, we're open to a lot of people's suggestions, and then we just try to make it work. So
it just seems to fit. I mean, you've got everything else. You've got people who are willing to come there with their families, people who are young people who will shop, certainly shop. They'll dine. They'll and the area that you're talking about. I mean, just to spend the day there, especially if it's a nice day in the spring or in the summer, is delightful. I think it'll be very, very nice. What do you have here? What are these products? Do you want to talk a little bit about
so first of all, it's the holiday time at the mall, so I think I'd talk about some of the new stores that have opened. Untuck It. It's really it's a great product, first of all. I'm sure everybody knows that it's primarily men's shirts, and you wear them untucked so that they're designed that way. There's a variety of flannels, stripes. They have all sorts of cuts and materials. And I have to say, when I'm out in the mall, I'm amazed at the bags. The bags are in men's, primarily hands, and women, but it's everyone from 18 to 80.
Are you talking about the shopping bags?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're buying the shirts.
Oh, okay.
And so as I walk through the mall, I see so many of these bags, and that's a great example of a retailer that started out online and has really seen the value in being in a shopping center like Burlington Mall. I already mentioned Hope and Henry, a great children's clothing store. And we also have Harbor Sweets that recently opened. And I brought a little sample for you. So they have their chocolate Christmas calendar. So what happens is on each day, you would open it, and there's a little surprise chocolate inside of it. So here you can have the first, and I'll take the second, and I'll be giving the cameraman the third. So again, this is just a great example of just some fun things and new retailers that we have inside of the mall. We talked a little about the Village, and then what's going to be coming up is the lower level Primark wing that we're redeveloping. So we continue to get some great new retailers. Obviously, Harbor Sweets is from Salem, Massachusetts. So it's great that we get retailers, both local, national, and regional, that want to have Burlington Mall and have a shop in Burlington Mall.
You are actually at the pinnacle of, I think, the ideas that are being generated, and that is that, like you said, you're bringing in retailers from across the country, from distant as well as local, meaning that the world is closer and much more available. You know, it isn't like that particular kind of store is located in the Midwest, and you know you may not see it. You're attempting to bring that into here in Burlington. Do you think a lot of it has to do with the location, Burlington? I mean, we're on the on Route 128. We're sort of at a prime area, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is part of the success of the Burlington Mall, the location of it. It's accessible to all of 128, all of traffic coming out of Boston, 93. You know, you see it in the traffic patterns in the any morning that you go out there. You know, there's just bumper to bumper traffic. So you're bringing that whole world into and putting it here right in front of the people who need it.
Sure. I think a lot of the success of Burlington Mall obviously is the road system, the Route 3, the Route 93,
Yeah.
and 128, and how easy it is to be able to get to the shopping center. And we also talked a few minutes ago about the office. You know, within a 3-mile radius of Burlington Mall, the number of offices, the number of businesses
Yeah.
that also, for the same reason,
Yeah.
that it's easy for their employees to be able to come down Route 3 or Route 128 or from Lexington. And then I think the third is all of the different communities that are around us as far as their, you know, the great demographics that they have, the great school systems that they support. So
Yeah.
I think the combination of the three is really very helpful in the success of
Yeah,
Burlington
you're
Mall.
right smack in the middle of it.
Yeah.
What would you say to the people of Burlington, the residential side of Burlington, which is over there? That's all the Mall Road. I think you know the way Burlington is set up, and the residential section is over there. I would imagine that one of the things is that they should be not only pleased that it's so accessible. I mean, it's, you know, you jump in your car and you can be there in 5 minutes. But do you have, why should the people of Burlington shop at the Burlington Mall?
Well, I hope they would like the brands.
Okay.
You know, whether it be Land's End, I know is a very popular store, or you want to come to the mall and maybe have a cup of chowder at Legal Seafood. I
Yeah,
would think
yeah.
that, you know, we're with the redevelopment and the changes and the transformation of Burlington Mall, we're really going to be about family-friendly restaurants at a price point that really works for everybody. Recently, we opened Frank Pepe, which is the pizzeria across
yeah.
from Bank of America. It's from Connecticut originally. It's world-renowned. Coal-fired pizza, and it's absolutely delicious. And I think people come from all around to try that. And again, you're having pizza and a soda with someone, and the price point is really good. So I think the Burlington restaurants are going to find that whether it's Frank Pepe or Shake Shack is going to be coming soon. Karma, which is a sushi restaurant, is going to be opening up. That there's going to be so much variety and selection. You're not going to get bored with the shops that we have, the services I mentioned with Stretch Lab. Maybe, obviously, we were shoveling all this morning, so maybe like someone pulled a muscle, and now all of a sudden we have different services that are going to be part of the village at Burlington Mall. So I think what we're going to be able to do is you're not going to have to travel very far to have access to a lot of great services and brands.
So what you're saying is the people of Burlington in particular have a distinct advantage in that anything they want, from food to any kinds of services, will be right at their doorstep.
Exactly.
You know, it's just a matter. I mean, a good portion of the town can actually even walk there, no problem. But and the parking has always been adequate, and I'm sure that they're gonna keep the same parking. Very interesting. It really is. It's a big project, and you're saying that they are going to be opening up gradually. Starting in this spring, some of the stuff.
Yeah.
I know the I can't think of the name of it, the one on the corner, the where the service station used to
Oh,
be. I've
Cafe
been there, and
Nero.
I can't.
Cafe Nero.
Yes,
Yes,
Cafe
yep.
Nero, sì. I speak Italian.
I like that.
And it's very, very nice. We
Yeah.
went there, my wife and I went there, one of the few places we've been to, and we are looking forward, and I would imagine most of the people in Burlington are looking forward to when it's going. So you anticipate by the end of the year that everything will be up and operating? And
We're probably looking closer for the Village at Burlington Mall, which is where Cafe Nero is right now, and where the Stretch Lab will be, and Modern Acupuncture, and You Break I Fix, and
that's going to be in that
Gukaku.
same building?
Yeah, it's almost like a theater in the round
Yeah.
is what I describe it as. And it's a beautiful change to what was there. We're probably looking at spring of 2020 that everything will be open. So that's kind of phase one. A lot of those stores are under construction now, so between winter and spring they'll be opening. Then the lower level Primark wing that we were talking about, again, it will have a 1 acre park that wraps a portion of the area, as well as outward facing restaurants and and retailers, not just services, with the 3 new mall entrances. That's going to probably start to open summer, fall of next year, and then we'll really be up and running by holiday 2020. And another really exciting thing that we're working on.
You got a lot of work to do in a year.
Yeah.
But they've been at it now for it must be about 6 or 8 months since Sears moved out. Wasn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. I believe it was spring of last year. So construction moves
exciting.
quickly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's exciting to drive by there and see, where they screen everything off so that you really can't see what's going on. But it piques your curiosity as to what's on the other side of the fence. Well, those are all great signs. Does Simon have other malls?
Oh yes, Simon is the largest shopping center developer in the United States. Here in New England, we own shopping centers such as Copley Place and the Back Bay.
Okay.
We go as far south as Cape Cod Mall in Hyannis,
Oh, wow.
South Shore Plaza in Braintree, North Shore Mall. We also have the mall at Rockingham Park, the Mall of New Hampshire, Pheasant Lane Mall, and we go as far out as west as Auburn Mall, right off the turnpike.
Wow.
So sometimes it's easier to say which malls in the greater Boston area aren't owned by Simon than it is which ones are. We have a real good sisterhood, and although we're part of a bigger company, the mall has its own personality. I think we just talked about the redevelopment at Burlington Mall. North Shore Mall, our sister mall in Peabody, is also going through some changes. They're bringing a Lifetime Fitness and some restaurants in their dining pavilion, because we know that shoppers, the millennial, they like more of the experiences. So having dinner and sharing a meal with someone is really what they want to do and how they spend their dollars. It's that experience. And I think that's what I saw this weekend too with Black Friday. It was really great. I think I started my day at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I saw initially it seemed like there were a lot of girls shopping together with all of their college sweatshirts on. And then right around 11:30 I saw the families with the strollers, and then by 2 o'clock the food court was absolutely packed because it was time to eat, as well as the restaurants. So I think really malls will continue to be a great place where you can meet someone or you bump into someone you haven't seen in a while. And we continue to have the Santa photo, or Santa's Winter Wonder Lights, as we're calling it this year. It's a brand new set. We had our other set for about 20, 21 years.
This is the one that is currently
this
in
is
the
the one.
corridors, in the central
it's in
corridor.
Center Court. You'll see Burberrys and bows,
Yeah.
and that's where families can enjoy a visit with Santa. The real neat thing is we do have a video on the mall's Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts if anyone wants to look at it. So we're calling it Santa's Winter Wonderlights, and there's a reason for that. And that is when you come to the mall, you're going to get, you can pick up a pair of these specs, as we're calling them, from customer service or the Santa set. When the child of any age puts them on, a point of light will become a snowflake.
Oh, for God's
And
sake.
it's really nice because that's the whole experience.
Mhm.
And also, as they go through the set, they're going to smell peppermint latte, and then they're going to hear the sounds of Santa's workshop. The response we've gotten from shoppers is absolutely wonderful. They love it. We're really interested in hearing the feedback, and it's all been so positive. Just this Sunday, we had our Caring Santa event, which is our event that's for children with autism. We provide a sensory-free atmosphere for them, and it's a scheduled time, so the family can say, okay, between 9 and 9:15, I'm going to bring my child, and they have some time with Santa. It's not the hustle and bustle. It's not really waiting in the line. We have a variety of activities and refreshments, and even the needs dogs came down, so that as the children are waiting, just maybe for
They're
that
totally
5
occupied.
minutes,
Yeah.
it's just a great
Yeah.
experience. And so I saw this mother, and she must have had a 9-year-old daughter, and she had this beautiful red dress on. And she said, "Can I just go into the set and take some pictures?" And I watched her, and it was absolutely beautiful. And I'm sure that's going to be their Christmas card. She matched our decorations perfectly, I have to say. So I think that's the beauty of Santa's Winter Wonderlights. The specs are always great, and we welcome people to come to guest services to pick them up. So we're really pleased with our whole new set. And also, as you go through, and you'll see at the mall entrances and like an Apple Court, we know selfies and people taking pictures with their family and friends is really the way it is now.
Yeah.
So we have a variety of, whether it's a wreath, whether it's a huge ornament cheer, or whether it's this beautiful illuminated globe. You can stand there, snap a picture, and then if you have your specs on, again, you'll see that little bit of a snowflake. So what we're really doing is we're just having the whole shopping experience continue to be fun for people. That you're not sure what you're going to expect, and then you're going to be able to be very pleased when you see all of the different things we have.
But I think the most important part of that is that you're making a very concerted effort to get everyone in the family involved in being there and enjoying the experience of being there. The kids, of course, are always a great big attraction. Anything you can do for them, they tend to bring the mother and father with them. Do you have? Do you sense, as the director of marketing, do you sense that there are a lot of people who come from outside of Burlington to the Burlington Mall? I mean, I know are they especially significant for any particular reason? You know, I mean, do they from the other malls, do they come here, or from any particular area? Is it just that the Burlington Mall, because of its history and its location, simply draws all around from everywhere? Or are there particular levels of young people, old people who want to come to the mall? Is it open-ended?
I almost think certainly families, the millennial and the fashionista are three demographics, psychographics that we know shop at Burlington Mall. The fashionista, because we have brands such as Tory Burch or Burberry or Coach. The family, because we have everything from the Children's Place to Hope and Henry. And then we also see the millennial because we have some great stores such as Banana Republic and brands like that we know, Lush Cosmetics that we know that they like to visit, as well as obviously our department stores. So I think the success of Burlington Mall is really that we have those. And one other thing that I think expands Burlington Mall's reach in the marketplace is stores such as Primark. They're not in many shopping centers. They're in downtown Boston, South Shore Plaza, and Burlington Mall. So I think what I hear from the store manager is people will drive an hour and a half. Not
just to go to that
just
store?
to go to that.
Really?
Not every week, but it's that special trip.
That special trip.
Yeah,
And,
so, or maybe it's back to school shopping or the holiday shopping, but they deliver a very price conscious product for customers, and it's very fashion forward. So if you're looking for that, let's say, ugly sweater, you know, it's $12 to $14. So I think people appreciate that as much as they appreciate us having brands such as Lululemon or Flying Tiger or Sephora.
How about foreign? I know you mentioned that there is going to be a Japanese food establishment in the near future. What other companies or what other stores are European or Far Eastern, or are there many shops that are run by people from outside? They're owned by people in other countries.
Sure. We do definitely have an international flair at Burlington Mall with many of our stores. Gung Chao, which is a bubble tea, opened probably about 6 or 7 months ago. I mentioned Yukaku, and those are two that come to mind. Oh, another one, I'm sorry, is Flying Tiger Copenhagen. So it's a great little, it's a store right next to MAC Cosmetics, again from Denmark, and it offers a variety of more products, everything from $1 wine bottle to, or stopper, to a fun basketball game that you would put on your head and shoot the little ping pong balls in. So we do already have some international companies that have their stores at Burlington Mall.
Wow, that is a big development. I mean, your job, do you get out and around to visit these shops? Do you, I mean, actually engage and talk to people that own the shops or run them from time? Is that part of
Oh yeah, I love it. That's my favorite part of the job.
Okay.
I mean, we all can only sit at our computer so long
Yeah.
and push everything out. And I think as a marketer, I get my inspiration when I talk to the stores and I listen to what they're saying, and then I become a better marketer. You know, one example is Our House Furniture recently participated in our Susan G. Komen, which is a fundraiser we do every October.
Yeah. Okay.
Our
I know
House.
now. Yeah.
And she was explaining to me how the customers love it, and obviously in October they're looking at getting their homes ready for the holidays. So we worked together with a fashion influencer and had a post so that we could again let a lot more people know about it. But that is truly my favorite part of the job. If I could spend 90% of my day out in the mall talking with the stores, that's what I would do. I think, not to toot my own horn, but one of the best compliments I ever heard from a retailer was that I balance the business and the marketing side quite nicely. Sometimes
You're the connection.
Yeah.
You're the connection with the top, and if you're out there walking the mall and saying hello and how things going for you, yeah, I think that's very very important.
And even tell me what people are buying, what they're not buying, and that way it gives me a good idea of again what to make sure people know that we have.
Yeah.
So that's my favorite part of the job.
How do you advertise?
So we advertise in a variety of ways. Probably one of the bigger ways is right on Middlesex Turnpike with the reader board. So as people come in the mall, they see about the different events and the different programming that we do have going on. Social media is very important these days, that we're
Sure.
on those channels. We also do a variety of print, sometimes direct mail. It's a little bit of everything depending upon what we're looking to let people know about. We have a wonderful mall insiders, as we call it, so people can sign up and let us know that they want to know about the different promotions and new stores that are opening at Burlington Mall. Our website is extremely well received and well visited by people. I think we're all so guilty of having our smartphones where we're always looking and we check out things and we're RSVPing online. So
Yeah.
I think Simon has done an absolutely wonderful job, and Burlington Mall's website is content rich. And that's kind of going back to what you said, do I meet with the store managers? What do I do?
Yeah.
We have the ability to post their offers, or if there's a special trunk show, or maybe there's a new line that's coming in. So by talking to the stores, I'm able to have myself and my department post on the website so that when shoppers are trying to see what's going on at Burlington Mall, that it's not stale, that it's content-rich information.
Right.
We
It's
also have,
current.
we also
What's
have a
going
family
on
club,
right
yeah.
now.
And the great thing about it, it's real time, because we live in a digital world, and you see that even when you come into the mall at the mall directories. We have 23 digital directories, so you can search by category, you can search by store name. We put our events, and there's even an opportunity for you to take a picture and post it on your social site. So kind of that interaction and that digital is really what we
Do you
do.
advertise outside of this area? I mean, I know you advertise here and within the surrounding, but how far out do you reach? I'm just wondering about that,
Yeah.
because we hear stories about the number of people that come through Burlington is just phenomenal.
Sure.
I've heard, I think I mentioned to you, as part of town meeting, they talk about 120, 30,000 people that travel the turnpike in any one given day or are located in the immediate area. How far do you reach out beyond that? Or do you advertise in Boston?
We are in the Boston Common magazine.
Okay.
So I guess we do, and we have a double truck ad with our sister malls, Copley Place and the shops at Chestnut Hill, letting them know about some of the brands that that shopper within that Boston area
So that
will come
someone
out.
in one of those malls might be interested in a particular shop that is now in Burlington or is going to open
Exactly.
in
Yep.
Burlington. So you'll draw even from them. My God, wow,
Yeah.
wow, you've got an important job.
It's important, and I love
Yeah.
it. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fun. It really
Yeah,
is.
I can imagine talking, walking around, and that's the other thing is the mall itself is nicely appointed. There is seating. You can sit and relax. You can go into an open cafeteria area and have some inside the mall. And now from what you're saying, you can walk outside of the actual mall building itself and continue that same atmosphere in that whole surrounding area outside. It's going to be, I want to say user-friendly. It's going to be even more than that, actually.
Yeah.
I think that's great.
Yeah.
Do the people from Simon come and sort of walk around and ask questions and look and see and I imagine they contact you and say, how is this shop doing, and is everything going well? I mean, the obvious questions.
I mean, our executives do come quite frequently. Obviously, there's a lot going on at Burlington Mall, and they're extremely approachable. You know, walking with an executive vice president, myself, or the general manager, we do very frequently. And they really want to know what's going on. What do you think we're missing? What are the shoppers saying? Are there brands maybe at a competitor shopping center that you think we should have here? So we're definitely a company that engages with everybody at all levels because they want to know. You know, we hear the pulse of the community. We know I'm listening, I'm talking with the managers and the ownership of the stores that are at the mall. So when they come in, they look at that information as very valuable. And they're very approachable, friendly. So it's a great visit. It's a walk of the property. And as much as they do this at many of the centers, they know the history of Burlington Mall, and they know the great property it is and all of the different changes. So they want to be in tune to how's this store doing? What about this restaurant? What do you think we need? So definitely very approachable. And that's what it's even though it's a big company, it is family run. It's a Simon family that is running the company.
That's with an ink. It is the Simon.
It is the Simon.
family.
Yeah.
Where are they originally from?
Indiana.
Oh, for
Indianapolis,
God's sakes. I didn't know
Indiana, and it started with three brothers actually back in the 50s, 60s, so 50s actually. So and now the son, David Simon, is running the company. So yeah, even though we're a big company, we're run by the family, and I think that's why it's so easy to work, and we're all working for the, you know, having the best shopping experience for customers.
Wow, that is really terrific. So your day is built around, probably the most important part is to meet and greet the people that run the shops and how are you doing? You know, there might be some little thing that they need or they don't know about. And so you're the connector. You're the big connection between the family and the executives and the shop owners themselves.
Yeah, I always say I have three customers. The first is the person who's shopping at the shopping center. It could be the mall walker that I'm having conversation with when they're getting their blood pressure done on a Tuesday morning, and that's a very popular activity. Then the second customer is the stores.
I didn't know about that.
Oh yeah,
they do that.
Leahy has been doing it for.
Leahy.
Leahy,
does it.
yeah,
I didn't know
yeah,
that.
and on Tuesdays from 8:45 to 10 o'clock, the nurse is there.
And where are they located?
Sure. So yeah, they have a table that's set up lower level by Swarovski. So there's a set of escalators, and she's there every Tuesday. There's always a line, and so we connect with the community, and that's one of my customers, is the person who's shopping there, either how we can help them to make sure their experience is good, and then provide both entertainment and some just nice services for them. Then the second customer we mentioned is the shop owner. You know, how can I make sure that I'm reaching their customer, and what does their customer want, so I can feature that. And then the third is my corporate office, both the executives and the team that I work with, as far as us working together to make sure that everything is done to the highest quality.
And they probably come to you to find out if you've heard about new ideas or with some suggestion or something that might have been mentioned, you know, because you're right on the ground floor. You're the one that actually, do you have a staff, by the way? Are you all alone? Or
No, thank goodness. I'm not all alone. I have a staff of two,
Okay.
My assistant, and then the guest service manager. And then there's this time of year, probably 10 to 12 guest service representatives. You know, booth is located at the top of the Lord and Taylor wing. We do everything from giving directions to letting people know about the different shops and where they're located, as well as the Simon gift card. Obviously, it's the gift of choice when people can't decide what they want to buy someone, and we also sell retailers gift cards from that.
You mean if you don't know what you want to buy someone and you say it's my husband, my wife, my cousin, or whatnot, and you go to, and they will help you try to find something that is appropriate.
Yeah, they'll talk through, and I love actually this time of year. I'll spend a lot of time on the floor, kind of talking to the shopper, and they'll be like, "Oh, I'm looking for this," or "My daughter likes this store or this brand, but I didn't find what I wanted." So,
Can you suggest?
oh yeah, I love that. Yeah, I think I should be a personal shopper. That's
I
going to be
love
in my
that.
next
I
life.
can give you a list.
Oh yeah, it's scary what's in this head. Some days I'm like, oh, yeah, it's actually fun because if I can have them connect and be able to get that item that they want for their loved ones, that's really awesome.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, it's fun. I like being on the floor.
It makes you feel good, and it makes them feel good too. They're walking off with a gift that they may or may not have known, but they're happy with it and they think it's a great idea. That's terrific.
Yeah.
You are so you're more like an ambassador than an actual business individual. I mean, the business end is there. It probably is in your office, but you're the roaming ambassador, trying to meet and greet and trying to find out what they want, if they're happy with whatever, and make as many suggestions as you possibly can.
Sure.
So you're enthused about what we are already, believe it or not, we're down to how many minutes? About 4 minutes? Can you imagine?
Okay, wow.
Yeah. See, I told you it goes by so fast.
It does.
About 4 minutes?
Oh,
or
3 minutes now. Okay.
Okay, I don't, there's so much, we could go on for another
Sure.
hour. I think probably the single most important thing when we get down to at least the last minute is to once again just repeat that the mall is going to be opening up in certain phases, and you're looking forward. Can anyone in the Burlington community reach you for any reason? I mean, without aggravating you and saying, you know, I want to buy a watch, can you tell me where? But if they have questions with regard to stores and shops, can they actually reach you, or is that something that you'd rather just keep at bay? I mean, with
Sure.
it
Well, we
reason.
have an office. Just because of timing, probably email if they
Is
go
the
to
easiest and the quickest,
simon.com,
yeah.
and then we'll be able to.
You will respond.
Oh,
Somebody,
absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. You probably,
And sometimes people are like, I don't want email, and that's where just being out in the mall at different times, you know, you're able to talk with people. It doesn't always have to be so formal, but I have had people stop in and say, I'm just curious what's going on. And obviously in our conference room, we have many of the different renderings that talk about the redevelopment as a whole. And then this is what Cafe Nero and the Village at Burlington Mall is, and this is lower level Primark wing. And one thing, and I know we probably only have about 2 minutes left now, is the mall's getting a makeover. We announced that in October. We'll start it in January. So throughout the next, I believe it's about 18 months, we'll be working on the interior, kind of freshening up our look, because let's face it, we have all these new stores.
I think the interior is so nice now.
Yeah.
It's enjoyable to walk there.
Oh, it's going to
You
be
know,
still great
they
to
have
walk. And
those lovely seats every now and then you can sit and think
Yeah.
about what you want, or
Yeah.
sit and talk to someone.
And that will all be there,
Yeah.
and will continue. And another great thing that I know a lot of families are excited about, we're going to have a new children's play area located on the upper level next to Build-A-Bear. So when we say makeover, it kind of gives us the ability to change some things and just freshen it up. It's going to be the flooring, and our columns aren't going to have that marble kind of base anymore. So just some small subtle changes, but like everything, you have to keep yourself fresh, and
Yeah.
retail's exciting.
Yeah, and people notice.
Exactly.
People notice,
Yeah.
you know. I can't tell you how many, whether I'm out of town or in town, talking to people, you know, what's going on in the mall? What's going on in the mall? And they do want to know. I think you've got pretty darn good population, or a section of Burlington itself that spends a lot of time in the mall. Only 1 minute.
Oh boy.
Make your own pitch. I just want to say thank
Okay.
you so much for coming. I told you it was going to go by so quickly, but if you would like to say or invite or whatnot, please, you have a minute.
Sure. Well, happy holidays from Burlington Mall. We really hope the Burlington and the greater community come and visit us this holiday season. I mentioned our Santa's Winter Wonder Lights. Be sure to stop by guest services, pick up your specs so that you can see each point of light. And we have 50,000 lights just at the Santa set alone. Sparkle in a snowflake. You'll notice at the entrances we have some great photo ops for you to take, and we're really excited to be a part of the community. Obviously the redevelopment of Burlington Mall, you've already seen how beautiful we changed the building that's located on Mall Road. Right now we're showcasing Cafe Nero. Be sure to check out our website because that's where I'm constantly updating what stores are coming, what new brands are going to be part of it. But we're really just so excited to have Burlington Mall, to be part of this community. We do a number of community programs. We work with People Helping People. We have a wish tree located on the upper level Lord and Taylor wing. You can stop by and grant a wish for a needy child this holiday season, and that all stays here in Burlington. So happy holidays from Burlington Mall, and we really hope you come down and visit us soon.
Thank you so much
Sure.
for coming. A lot of good information. Thank you. Join us next Tuesday if you can, please. Surprise guest. Wow.
Okay.